Right, up on deck, we've got the radar arch. Lots of problems with the cap rail. Missing the T cap rail, and the glass is also splintered. Stanchions have been ripped out. Starboard side's not much better. The cap rails are mainly in place, but very weathered and splintering in parts. Teak deck, very, very worn. All the caulking is standing proud by a few millimetres, so not sure if there's enough wood left to sand back or not. Okay, well, here's the engine. Now the engine was meant to be one of the best parts of this boat because it's a 3JH 5E, I believe, and this is about 8 years old, so and low miles, so this is meant to be the good part. So just having a look through here, the first thing I noticed was the coupling. If you can see it down there, engine coupling, yeah. So that's pretty rusted on. I put some WD-40 on it earlier and had some pretty massive flakes coming off. So I've just had a quick go at it with a wire brush to see if I could see the bolt heads, which I can. And then there's just a whole heap of stuff over here to sift through and explore and work out what it does. A lot of systems have been updated over the past 20 years, but as a new system has come in, the old one's been left behind, so I'm seeing double, like duplicate wire harnesses and cables for the engine, a lot of old sort of piping there or ducting. Need to work out what that's about. So that's the engine. It's not been started for a couple of years, and I think it'll probably be quite a few more months before I get it going. Okay, so this is the other story behind Wanda, is the fuel tank. There's a lot of speculation as to what had happened to the fuel tank because it has been customized in some way. So my understanding is that originally there's an inbuilt fuel tank that sits beneath the engine, and it's actually part of the hull and goes down into the bilge. But apparently there was a leak with that, so what somebody seems to have done is fabricated some sort of cylinder that they've put in here. It's pretty messy. And then the secondary tank just drains into that, and that feeds the engine. Because apparently it was just too big a job to rip the engine out, get down into the bilge, find the leak and re-glass up the hole or whatever it was that was causing the leak. A lot of oil down there. Oil and fuel has been leaking, so it's pretty dirty. Right, so here we have the bilge in all of its glory. You can see there's probably about 2 feet of liquid water down the bottom. A lot of oil and some diesel as well. And apparently the water was up above the floorboards here, which is why the floorboards are so worn and weathered, and they've lost all their finish here. There's just no finish or shine on them. It's meant to be teak and holly, but they're just all really, really weathered because they were sitting 2 inches underwater apparently. So there's a lot of sort of oil and dirt, you know, right above the bilge through all the wires and the pipes, which I'll need to get to. So I've just been trying to work out what all the seacocks do and where all the through holes are, and it's a bit of a mess. I've counted 20 through holes. That's a lot of holes in a boat. I need to work out what they all do and maybe try and rationalise them and not have so many. Okay, so I'm going to head out in a minute and see if I can get the plug out for the bilge and drain all this out. Right, here's the bilge drain plug. So I just had to spend some time to get the anti-fouling off it and clean up the nut a little bit so I could get a grip and not have it slip. It looks like it's actually copper, or maybe it was brass or something and there's copper left. Anyway, here goes. There's 3 years of gunk about to come out. Oh, that smells bad. This is the very bottom of the bilge. You can see at this point we're getting a lot of crud coming out, sort of thick black gunk, fuel, diesel fuel, oil. So this is a really nasty part. So it's been sitting there for a long time, I reckon. It's handy to have these plugs at the bottom. My last boat, which was a North Sea, didn't have that, so it's a lot more difficult to drain the bilge when they're up in the hard.